Hello everyone, welcome. World has witnessed several significant and critical events during the last 1 year of the second term of President Donald Trump. Today we have with us Mr. Joseph Melookaran, who is the former member to the advisory board of US President. Mr. Joseph Melookaran, hearty welcome to this program. The slogan or the motto of the American President Donald Trump is to make America great again. So, when you analyze last 1 year, the performance of US President Donald Trump during the last 1 year, how you rate his performance?
Well, making America great again and America first policy, that was the core of his campaign and the core of his initial first year initiatives. I think, I can categorize his accomplishment in the last 1 year in five segments. One is the immigration and border security. The second one is economy and trade. And third one, foreign policy and national security. And crime enforcement is the fourth one. And fifth one, government efficiency. So definitely the immigration and border security, there is unanimous approval for what he has done, because what he has accomplished is what no other presidents for the last several decades were unable to do. Because every year, especially in last 4 years of Biden, almost 15 to 16 million illegals crossed over to the United States. And Obama and Biden, they all said that we need comprehensive immigration bill in order to fix the illegal migration. But last 1 year, he proved otherwise. Even in the first 6 months, the border crossing reduced by 90%. Now it is 91.7% and a reduction in the illegal border crossing. It has got two reasons why it happened. One, the catch and release. During all these years, they catch these illegal immigrants who are migrating, and then they take their information and they release them into the society. And they will wait for their turn to appear in the court, which may be a few years down the road. It may never happen. And the second one is remain in Mexico policy. So you can apply from Mexico. You don't need to cross over. So the third one is that the refugee status. In last 1 year, only 1,280 refugee applications were approved. So there's so many countries. I mean, according to the Pew Charitable Foundation, 750 million, if they have a choice, want to come to America. 750 million people around the world. So everybody wants to come, and many of them use the refugee status. And Europe is the same thing. Okay. Europe has got so liberal, and everybody is a refugee, but nobody is a refugee. So that is a system being schemed, system being used or misused. So border security is very strong, and that's what people give credit for. The second one is the economy and trade. Right at the get-go, they were talking about the tariffs and also leading United States in terms of the trade policy, bringing manufacturing back to United States, nearshoring, all these things. So on this trade front, they moved very fast. In April, they started this tariff negotiation. And the whole world thought that everything is going to collapse around them. No, it didn't happen. I mean, US had a pretty good negotiating with the first one was UK with the 10% tariff. Second one was supposed to be India, but India backtracked and became, never happened. And so $300 billion in tariff revenue was amassed by US, and also has a better trade negotiation. And now the export is increased, for the capital goods and services. So that has created, the trade deficit is coming down, and we will not be surplus anytime soon. But at least it's in a good direction. The trade and to the trade status. So economy and trade. Last quarter the economic growth, GDP growth was 4.4%. That is a significant growth by any means. It's even more than for some of the emerging markets. I think India is 6.2 or 8%. I don't know. But anyway, so that is a significant growth than what it was projected. And I have a feeling that next 3 years, we will have an average GDP growth of 3 to 4%. So that is a significant achievement. Foreign policy and national security. So one of the dramatic difference between the foreign policy pursued before and foreign policy pursued now is the realization by Trump that the old economic order, the old world order, or the globalist order is no longer working for the world, no longer working for the United States. Any major involvement that US is part of, US has to foot the bill for almost 70-80%, but does not get any say or respect what it deserves. And Russia, on the other side, the other global order, they have no order. Russia does what they want, China does what they want. So in this situation, he believes that he needs to follow a new world order. That is, he has to lead with dominance, take control of the sea and the space, so that's what Trump is doing. So Trump's foreign policy is characterized by what is best for the national interest of United States. So whether it is Monroe Doctrine, which is China or Russia cannot come into our backyard. So they were already encroaching into South America and Central America because they were in a big way in Venezuela. They are in Colombia. They are in some of the smaller countries. They are in Brazil. So a lot of this influence of China overextending to South America into the backyard of the United States. And Monroe Doctrine says that no, that will not work. So he is bought into that one. And the second one is that whether it is Greenland or Middle East, he wants to project that dominance. Greenland, I can disagree with the way he has acted, and that has become a global conversation. But again, there is a point what he is making, because all the ICBMs all across the coast of Russia is pointed towards United States, towards Washington. And the distance between Greenland and Washington, D.C. is 2,000 miles. The distance between Greenland and Copenhagen of Denmark is only 1,800 miles. And so all these ICBMs are directed towards the United States. So which is the best way to protect through the Iron Dome? That is Greenland. And Greenland was under the protection of the United States when Denmark was run over by Germany. After the Second World War, US gave it back. And that is, US soldiers paid with their blood, and it was given back to them. So there is a history to it. But the way we want to acquire, blah, blah, that was a little bit abrasive. And I don't think, it was a diplomatic approach. But I believe that, probably he will get what he wanted in one way or the other. So in foreign policy, there is a dramatic change, and US dominance, US projection of power, whether it is Iran, Venezuela, or even China. China is, kind of very subdued these days. China has got its own internal issues going on, and they're eliminating all the military brass from the top to bottom, and all these things are happening. So there is unipolar sole superpower situation for the United States right now. And he is wielding it, he is using it, and he is projecting that dominance that like no other people can. So that is on the foreign policy. Now, coming to crime and the law enforcement, I think all across, in terms of the burglary, the crime, homicide, carjacking, rape, in every category, or drugs, the statistics shows that everything is positive. Like fentanyl deaths, it is down 21%. Each year, 120 to 128,000 people die because of drug overdose, especially mainly through fentanyl. And most of these people who are dying, they are from 14 years to 24 years in such a young age. So any reduction in double-digit reduction in those deaths is saving tens of thousands of lives. So from crime and law enforcement, I think he has got a pretty good record, and people like that. And the fourth one is government efficiency. Every law that is added, you have 129 regulations removed. So 1:129. That is a great ratio, and that has unleashed a lot of new permitting and a lot of deregulated environment for the businesses to start and prosper. And that was good for the economy. And you can see the underpinnings of it in the industrial growth. ISM manufacturing is about 50, which means that last so many quarters it was lagging in 40s. Now it is 50 and above, which means that manufacturing is coming back, industrial base is building, and the export from the industrial is going up. There was an industrial export growth of 3.8% or something like that. So we are coming back. So from the government efficiency point of view, the deregulation and even with the reduction of 317,000 people from the federal workforce, still many of the departments are more efficient than before. So these five broader categories, I think he has accomplished something. But there are some areas that I disagree or I'm disappointed. It is probably not the solution that they brought in or a solution they brought in, but it is the approach that Trump uses, the abrasiveness of some of the initiatives in implementing some of these. That's where I have the difference. And that probably indirectly contributed to some brand damage for United States.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Trump has done a lot to improve, to achieve the motto that to make the America great again. But some of his initiatives, some of his statements could damage the brand image of the America. US, when we look into the history, has a soft power image. It has a good relationship with the European countries, but due to Trump policy of this kind of tariff, the European countries are not much happy about Trump. So that could, in future, that could do a lot of damage to the brand image of America. So how you analyze that situation?
So there is some brand damage, yes. But in Davos, even some of the European countries, they feel that European leaders needed to listen to Trump, because how European economies were almost stagnated for so many years, especially Germany, France, Britain. They all need to hear of that. Becoming globalist, all this virtue talking and shooting themselves in the foot with the net zero by 2030. These type of policies actually destroyed Europe. And also the refugees, the migration from Middle Eastern countries. I mean, now UAE does not want to even send their citizens to Europe. They are afraid of being influenced by terror. So it is a dichotomy. I mean, so they have taken so much immigration from all these countries, and that has pulled down the economy. So it's a good lesson what Trump has done. And Viktor Orban of Hungary, in Norway, Meloni from Italy, some of them were privately saying that Europe cannot continue like this. It is self-inflicted damage, and they cannot continue like that. So, but it was very abrasive. The brand damage is there, but again, U.S. president, another 3 years, new person comes, and things could be normal. But for the time being, I would say that there is some sort of brand damage. America's that dignity, or the people have an aura of feeling about American presence and stuff like that, that now from change from a virtuous presence to a dominant, projecting dominance, that kind of force, whether you like it or not, that is changed to that one. But it may transition into regular American image in about 3 years time. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's not a long-term impact, but definitely your question is right. There is some brand damage.
Okay. Another important aspect that everyone is very much curious to know, why American President Donald Trump is so adamant about this Nobel Prize.
That beats me. I have no idea. I don't even know whether it is even worth it to mention even once, because I can see that Nobel Prize is given to a lot of these liberal globalist people without we will even wonder, why in the world. For example, I was surprised when Obama got the Nobel Prize in the first year. What did he do? He has not even done anything to get the Nobel Peace Prize. So all those things are right, but it still beats me. I have no idea why Trump is so hung up on that. He shouldn't have done it, because it belittled him in uh, the global media and the people's perception for clamoring about not getting Nobel Prize, or even mentioning that repeatedly. Beats me. I don't like it.
Okay. Another important event that shocked the world during his first year was the attack against Venezuela and capturing of their president Maduro. Is that a unauthorized breach into the internal matter of a country? Will that give a negative model to all the world countries?
Yes and no. The reason is that uh, some of these people in the past also, United States brought from other countries. Manuel Noriega during the Clinton time, he was the president of Panama, and he died in jail in the United States. But he was indicted for drug trafficking or cartel operations. Same thing, Maduro was indicted in New York. So he has got a standing indictment against him to arrest him. So that's why he was not going anywhere. Or the international protocol, according to that, he can be arrested. So uh, taking him out of Venezuela and bringing to the United States, it had much larger ramifications and much larger objective for Trump. And this is part of the projection of power, and also kind of going against or checkmating the biggest enemy, which is China. Because Venezuela, China has got significant influence there. And they buy most of their oil through the illegal shipments. And China also buys from Iran, China buys from Russia, and China still cannot complete their demand for the oil with all these three. What US want is that in order to checkmate China, this is one of the pillars. One, Venezuela. Venezuela, US does not need oil. And Venezuela has got 300 billion barrels of reserve, which is about $17 trillion worth of oil. It has got a lot of reserves in gold. US does not need any of these. What US wants is controlling who will access it. That's where this China comes into picture, because they want to sap China in terms of getting the oil. They want to slow down their AI development by denying the fastest chips done, manufactured by NVIDIA. So they want to slow down because as soon as Trump took over, one of the important things he did was that he made it very clear to the industry that we must win the AI war. Any ceding dominance to China, you are asking for it. It can never get it back. And every country, whether it is Europe, US, India, or any country, it will be bad if China gets control of the AI dominance. So this is one way to checkmate that. So that is the big picture, and also a threat to Khomeini and all the bad actors around the world. This is a good lesson. So this is not new. It has happened before. We have done it to Manuel Noriega and some of the cartel, El Chapo, and a lot of these cartel leaders, not the political leaders. We have extracted them from different countries and brought to the United States and brought under U.S. justice.
Yes. One of the important argument of Donald Trump during his campaign was that if he was the president, the Russia-Ukraine war would not have happened. But till now, till date, he could not able to make a final solution to the conflict which is going over for more than 4 years. Why is it so?
Well, this is a disappointment for him and probably a lot of people who were looking for a quicker solution. But the major issue is that the territorial ambition of Russia is something they don't want to compromise. That is probably the only reason, because as far as Russia is concerned, Putin has to answer the people who sacrifice hundreds of thousands of young men and women, and the oligarchs who financed a lot of these, and also the military and security apparatus who protected this. So he's answerable to them. So if he cut and loose and make a deal, that means that it is probably sacrificing for nothing. It will not go very well for Putin, and Putin's term will be limited from that point of view. So the territorial ambition is a major factor that slowed down. But there is a silver lining. In Davos, there was a separate meeting by Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, Trump's point man, on the sidelines with Putin's representative, the confidant Dimitrov and others. And they were having a meeting. And after that meeting, probably it was positive. All of them flew to Moscow and they met with Putin for 4 hours. And what I'm hearing is that there will be a meeting in Abu Dhabi for that. So in my opinion, probably Davos was the first pitch, and the negotiation was the 4-hour meeting with Putin, and the treaty may be in the offing in Abu Dhabi. If that is true, some people are kind of figuring out that, and it will be great. What Trump did was that an unconventional solution approach. Europe was not involved. Even the top brass within Foreign Department of the United States was not involved. Zelensky probably indirectly involved. So this is a very quick, very strategic, to have a meeting on a short notice with Putin. I'm very surprised that it happened. So there is a possibility that in the near future we will have a treaty and there will be some solution to this long-standing, much-needed ceasefire and a comprehensive agreement.
Okay. When we come to the Middle East politics, for the last few days, a lot of military movement is happening around Iran. So will Trump take a risk by directly attacking the Iran, or what is the solution of the crisis that is happening in and around Iran right now?
I think he will take some action, but I think my feeling is that what he's trying to do is to bring all the firepower around and give an ultimatum to Khomeini and IRGC. And they will cave in. They will have a safe passage to Russia and unfreeze part of their assets in other places. And they will have a safe passage, and Reza Pahlavi and whoever Democratic transition team will take over. And so if that doesn't happen, US involvement will completely obliterate IRGC infrastructure, ICBM, and all the stuff that needs to be there. I don't think there will be boots on the ground, but it will debilitate their killing machinery of their own people in a way that they will not be able to survive. Already back channel negotiation or request or begging is going on from the IRGC leader and the appointment Khomeini appointed, already saying that we are ready to sit down and negotiate. And Trump said unconditional surrender, 2 words. That's all he wants, and nothing else. No negotiation, no sit down, no nothing. So probably in next 10 days, probably there will be some action. I think that's not only for the Iranian people. I think it is also for rebalancing and strengthening some of the regional dominance of the American allies, and also permanently putting an end to the proxies, whether it is Houthis or Hezbollah or Hamas or Muslim Brotherhood, a lot of these jihadists, all these, the empowering regime, if that is displaced, I think that will be a permanent solution for Middle East issues.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Joseph Melookaran, for sharing your valuable thoughts and review regarding the world politics. Let's hope for the best. May Trump able to make America great again, as well as the world great again. Let's hope for the best. Thank you for your valuable time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.